Hello again, everyone. Got a new piece of test equipment. It's a very old new piece. SENCORE SS-105. And this is the original box. Don't have a manual for it, but I think I kind of understand what this does. It is basically a sweep circuit troubleshooter. And most technicians have used this for the cathode current meter. And that's what this is for. And you got a row chart down here that tells you, like on as example 6BQ6, should have 75 to 100 milliamps of current. Most technicians, that's really all they use this for. But it will do some other things. It'll produce a horizontal oscillator signal. If you were troubleshooting a set that had no high voltage, you could put this on horizontal. The output's a horizontal oscillator signal right here. There's your ground. And you could sub in a drive signal and help you with some troubleshooting. Same thing with a vertical oscillator. You just flip this switch to vertical. And again, this is the output voltage. But it'll produce a vertical signal. And you can troubleshoot if you had no vertical scan, you could inject signal on your vertical output tube and help you in troubleshooting that circuit. It's also a voltmeter. And if you put this up on DC volts, plug your probe in right here, of course ground down here, and that will read up to 1,000 volts. It's also a yoke sub, a flyback tester, and I went to work on those shafts. They're both hard to turn, but you put that on flyback check. Those last few things are probably things that most technicians never used with this, but it was capable of doing all those functions. So I haven't hooked this up. I'm going to plug it up and we'll see what we got. I know we're going to have to take it apart because of those switches. They're really gummed up. But we'll hook this up and see if it's doing anything. Alright, here's the inside. This looks kind of strange here. Some cloth tape wrapped around the filter cap wires. I don't know if that's a clue of something going on or not, but here's a row chart where you select the output tube that you're checking the cathode current on. And it looks to be in good shape. And we have a 12AU7 and some regular paper caps. Need to change those if it is working, or if we do some repair. Either way, we need to change these paper caps. So let's turn it on and see if we get anything. We're using the SENCORE PowerRite. We'll go about 100 volts. Okay, I don't see anything happening, and I think there's a neon that's supposed to light up as soon as you turn this on. So I think we're dead in the water. Not doing a thing, so let's turn it off. We are drawing just a little bit of current, not much. First thing I would suspect would be this filter cap. So let's get this tape off. Uh-oh. There's an exposed wire, so we get the rest of this unwrapped. Yeah, this electrolytic shot is getting hot, and it is a 40 at 350 and a 30 at 350, so pretty easy values to substitute in. Here's what I'm going to do. Just use these smaller ones, and we'll get these wired in and see if we get anything. Okay, let's use that cloth tape, put back around my connections, and use this holder. They fit in there okay. This should be fine. So let's see if anything happens now. Okay, we have a oscillator indicator, so that tells me something's happening. Get the scope, hook up to this oscillator output, see if we get vertical and horizontal signal. It's going to clip the scope directly to the pin underneath. And we're on vertical. And there's some vertical. Looks like a pretty good vertical pulse. We'll go frequency. Yeah, 60 hertz. Okay, let's switch this to horizontal. Yeah, 16.4. And the signal's changing as I turn up the output. Let's go voltage. Seems to be working. I'm pretty sure that the DC voltage meter is working, hooked up underneath the jacks there with my power supply. Now this only goes to approximately 15-16 volts. So this scale is from 0 to 1,000. So here's 0. And a 100 scale's right there. So I doubt if I can, it might move a little. Let's try it and see. Yeah, it jumped up a little bit. Let's watch it again while I turn this voltage up. Yeah, it's moving. So I think our DC voltmeter is working okay. Alright, I have the scope lead on the horizontal yoke jack. And I'm not sure if it's working or not. I do know that that's with it on. And if I turn it off, I get nothing there, so. And when we move this millihenry coil, we can adjust it up and down. And that's simply a slug in that coil right there. See it moving it up and down. But it does change it. So I'm going to say that's working okay too. So the last thing we need to check is the cathode current on horizontal output. That's with this socket. So I think I've got an old Admiral chassis. We'll get over here and hook it up and see what it says. This is Admiral TV I'm restoring right now. Don't have the CRT in it. I'm waiting for CRT because the one in it was bad. But there's our current, and we're at 100 milliamps. Now, the way you set this, if you look at that roll chart, it'll tell you the position of this output cathode selector switch. And on the 6BQ6, which is what that uses, we want it on position 8. And there we go. We're about 100 and a little over 100 milliamps. We'll turn the set off. Back on. So that's working fine also. And not only will this check cathode current, it has some test pins sticking out the side there that you can check voltage on, or resistance, either one. You can even use it for that. So we're working like we should. Before I put this together, we'll change these paper caps. Then this should be in great shape and ready to use on restores. All the caps replaced. And I did check the 12, it's a 12AU7 tube, and it checks fine. So we're gonna get this put back together. Flathead screw, one on each side. I'm gonna do one more test just with the scope. Confirm that we're still putting out vertical and horizontal signal. And we even got a set of test leads. Little discolored there, need to be cleaned up. Okay, we're in our oscillator output and our ground. There's a scope probe. And we're at 60 cycle. It's a vertical output. Horizontal. 16.3 kilohertz. And as you adjust the output, auto scale again. Now we're up to 26 volts peak to peak. And those leads, the ends of them cleaned up really well. And I cleaned the leads too. Just used some alcohol. So, with just some minimal repair, we got this SENCORE SS-105 up and running. It might come in really handy if you're doing some troubleshooting on an old TV. And just a little WD-40 on these switches. They're still tight, but they turn okay. I forgot to mention the case on this looks really good. Other than missing the manual, that's really the only issue it has. So that's a look at the SENCORE SS-105 sweep circuit troubleshooter. Dated around 1960 with the original box, and it even has a place for the socket to stick through the box there. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Well, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. Thanks.